We'll see how it is. All right, puppy. Zachy, I'm trying to sit down here. We have a bunch of dogs. Okay, honey.
Let me move over a little bit.
Can I sit
Watch
down?
out, watch your tail, Mel.
You gotta let me sit.
You're gonna sit on Pet Melanie's tail. Hold up, Melanie, you gotta move. Daddy's sitting on your tail. All right, very good. All right.
All right, here we go. All right, are you ready?
All right, dogs. Oh my God, Melanie.
Oh God, this is not going well at all. It's going, oh my God.
Oh my.
Okay. All right, everybody. Hi. We're here today. What day is it today?
March 3rd.
March 3rd. And what's happening in the news? Anything good?
Yeah, we're at war with Iran.
So during our last video, we discussed how to make a decent cup of coffee. So now, here, I think I'm going to move a little bit over here. I think that's
Yeah, I
better.
think that's better now that the dogs have moved.
Look, I look muscular.
That's because you are muscular.
I'm not that muscular.
Yes, you are.
All right, so this brings us to the topic that we're going to discuss today. How it is that I managed to stay married for nearly 30 years.
Oh my heavens. I didn't know that was going to be the topic.
Surprise! First of all, explain to the audience why it was that I haven't done a YouTube recently.
Okay. My poor husband has a back condition. He has degenerative back disease, and he has had multiple surgeries and procedures over the past 20 years. And as a result, he is very, very limited in his mobility, and he is always in a degree of pain. It's just a matter of how much it is.
How bad has it been the past few weeks?
The past few weeks have been actually very difficult for Rich, and we're not quite sure why it's gotten so bad these past few weeks.
Well, we're pretty sure why. It happened right after I did my YouTube video on the war with Iran. And it's upsetting too, because I worked so hard on this, and like YouTube decided that it shouldn't be circulated, and therefore it didn't do well. And yet 5 weeks ago when I first decided to make this video, we knew what was going down. And I made this wonderful video explaining the whole entire circumstance and what this can mean for your wallet. And where did it go?
It went nowhere.
Went nowhere.
I think YouTube suppressed it, and so did X. It was suppressed.
I don't know why. It's just like it would have given people the opportunity to discuss whether or not this was a just action or not a just action. But I think at this juncture, now that we're committed, I think as a country we have to be committed.
And we have to support our troops and our president, whether you be Democrat or Republican, because we are America and we should be one.
Exactly.
And we have to support our troops. They're in harm's way. They're doing very brave and heroic things to protect the world.
And our country.
And country.
So we should get behind our troops.
And get behind the president.
Well, yeah, well, essentially that's getting behind America and our troops. But anyways, all right, so this is a very interesting thing. This brings us to the point of our entire YouTube, which is that we've been married for nearly 30 years. And although I'm not an expert on marriage counseling, and my wife is not an expert on marriage counseling, we do have a lot of expertise on what it means to be in a successful relationship, right?
Yeah, I guess we do.
Yeah.
Because we've had a lot of stressors in our marriage. One being what we discussed, my husband's back.
But another one that's quite obvious is that my wife and I have different viewpoints on our politics. We see things from different vantages. Is that correct?
Yeah. I am a proud constitutional conservative.
And I'm not. Actually, I do believe in our Constitution, no doubt. But I wouldn't I wouldn't consider myself conservative by any means. In college, my nickname was Radical Rich. So,
Yeah.
but when you think about that, for 30 years, we've been married and we are on, so quote, different sides of the aisle, different sides of the political divide. How did we manage surviving this length of time? Because there's so many more important things.
Because my husband and I both have the same moral compass. We both believe in self-responsibility. We believe in hard work. We believe in treating others the way you want to be treated, the golden rule.
And I have a tremendous amount of respect for you.
And I respect Rich, and that's very important. You can never lose that.
I think that the respect that we have for one another has really what's made our marriage so strong, because whenever you say something and you say, hey, Richard, I think that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, or contrary, or on the other side, if I say, sweetheart, I think that you need to be concerned about this or be concerned about that, rather than look at it, oh, he's just being male chauvinistic or she's just being this. Whatever men and women typically say, when you begin to listen to each other, you begin to realize that they care about you and the advice you're being given is sound advice and it should be respected.
Right.
Especially when it comes to the kids.
Yeah.
So like that's how, like, remember that very famous couple, that guy with the bald head, what's his name? He's a political commentator. He's the Democrat. And Mary Madeline.
James Carville.
James Carville.
Yeah,
Right.
and his wife, they're polar opposites politically. Like they couldn't be, they're more polar than Rich and myself. They're
For sure,
way
because we
polar.
see eye to eye on a lot
But
of
they're
things.
married a long time.
Married a very long time. So it makes you wonder, why is it that it's been so difficult for Democrats and Republicans
To get along.
to get along?
Just be civil.
And you want to know what a lot of it, I think, is that we are being programmed. We're being programmed to hate one another by
forces we don't have no idea who they are.
And
by foreign forces, by
perhaps our
internal-
media, who's just looking to sell stuff, sell advertising time. You know, it's bizarro,
Yeah.
but it's not nice and it's not good.
Yeah, but we're being manipulated.
And then
so
when you
much.
and then when you throw AI on top of that,
It's
and what's happening right now is that companies are realizing that investing in AI isn't enabling them to receive the benefits that AI has been promising. And this happens all the time whenever there's some sort of new technology, like the internet or other things. There's all these promises of these remarkable changes in society. And it's
to
just
make
like,
everything better.
but it never makes anything better. I mean, honestly,
Technology didn't make anything better.
do you think that life is really so much better now than it was back when we were kids? Certainly the education isn't better, and that's been borne out because they showed that what is it called, Gen Zers?
I don't know. Gen Z, I guess.
But that they academically and intellectually and in terms of knowledge are way below my generation, which we're the Gen Xers, right?
I think so.
I think I'm on the cusp.
And it's not their fault. It's my generation's fault. It's this generation's fault for letting this happen. They're not being educated. The educational system in this country was co-opted by unions, and they literally destroyed our educational system. Our children are not learning math and science. They're not ready to
take on
the
responsibilities of being adults. And that's what we're seeing. And now what we're doing is we're hoping that AI will be smart enough to do what our kids can. But that's not a solution.
No,
and that's not a good solution.
AI is not a solution for it can help, in my opinion, minimally, and it can definitely help. But my fear is that people are going to use it to do their thinking for them.
Well, that's exactly what's begun to happen.
And when that happens, I think that's going to collapse society, because you can't replace people's brains with computers.
Because they're wrong. They make terrible mistakes. You
And-
have no
and-
idea. And if you don't have somebody there watching out for it, this stuff is going to find its way into everything. I mean, right now we're like, all right, first of all, can I just talk about how stupid decisions our government makes just for a moment? Can I just talk about the
Yeah.
dumb things that's going on right now in the Trump administration? Not talking about the war, but talking about the war
Anthropic.
between, yes,
Anthropic and the Pentagon.
and the Pentagon, how stupid it is. For those of you who don't know about Anthropic, they have this AI called Claude. Claude has the capacity to do development, write code. Now, other AI has the ability to develop code, but Claude is uniquely different in the way that it can be managed. You can have one person as the leader, one person. You can have one agent as the lead, and then he. That agent then goes ahead and manages a group of other agents, employees. Some employees are used directly for database, others are used for UI, others are used for, and you can have all these different agents responsible for different areas of expertise, and then the master agent defines what tasks go out to all these other agents, and you can actually create extremely robust applications very quickly and efficiently with this type of methodology without any human intervention whatsoever. And in fact, we're trying to move towards that where we lack the human intervention, because whenever you have human intervention, that's what slows everything down. But the problem is that you can always have malicious code injected into the stuff that's being written. And if you're not familiar with what it does and have the capacity to be able to write it
You're
yourself,
not going to see it.
never going to be able to see it. But Anthropic is best at this. And for the Defense Department to say, well, we want you to take off the safety guards so that we can utilize your AI to do things like autonomously aim and execute orders and things of this sort without human intervention. I understand that I don't blame at all the Anthropic for not wanting their AI to be used in that fashion, because quite truthfully, the AI makes mistakes, and it's
You're only responsible for
and you have no idea what the consequences are when it tries to execute for an objective. It winds up doing things that are most unexpected, like, I'm going to kill the entire human race also that I can achieve my objective. You know, it's like that. So you don't want your AI being rogue. Exactly. And you can't blame Anthropic for not wanting their AI used that way. So, and what's going on with the data centers? That's the crazy thing. You were telling me today about Virginia. What's going on in Virginia?
Virginia. They're talking about obviously raising taxes, but apparently the data centers aren't going to be subject to those taxes.
And what are people? They're rip shit, right?
They're trying to get that through. Again, screwing the middle class. You people in Virginia did a bad thing by electing Abigail Spanberger.
I think so too.
I mean, you can see it already. And her lieutenant governor is an Islamist. So congratulations, Virginia.
I told you, my wife's a conservative. But from my perspective, the issue that I have with these data centers is their cost. And people don't understand this at all. I mean, we always talk about there being a situation of privilege. Well, now we're going to become an even more privileged country with greater discrepancies between the haves and the have-nots. It's now just going to be, there's just going to be this AI type basically those that can afford AI are going to succeed and achieve, and those that can't
will
fail and flounder. And you're just going to have another way of elevating the haves and reducing the have-nots. Because believe it or not, these people that are making these $1.5 trillion data centers plan on getting their money back in spades. So,
Yeah.
and let's say they're not spending 1.5 trillion. Let's say they're only spending $500 billion.
Still a lot of money.
$500
And how
billion.
are they going to make that back?
They're not going to make it back by giving away their services. I can assure you
Yeah.
of that.
So,
Be prepared. There's just going to be another way to disenfranchise the everyday American. That's all this is. So that's something that, you got to be wary of. You disagree?
yeah, it's true.
And then what happens when these things go belly up? And some of them, a lot of them are. And when they go belly up, you know who's going to be holding the tag for that? The people that lent them the money. They're just going to be out. And the lenders think that they have something because they're building these data centers on places that have real estate, and they're going to have electric infrastructure and so on and so forth. But what does all that stuff do you if there are no buyers for that stuff?
Well,
At the rate that technology turns over, they become obsolete every 3 to 5 years. So what are you going to do? Reinvest $500,000 every $500 trillion every 3 to 5 years? That's absurd. Even if it's $100 billion, even if it's $50 billion, $50 billion every 3 years, that's crazy.
President Trump, I believe, signed an executive order saying that the data centers had to build their own energy sources because he didn't want the public's, the infrastructure for society to be impacted because
negatively upon these people.
There wouldn't be enough.
See, here's the problem. Fundamentally, AI doesn't solve one very important problem, the problem of synthesis. And we see this time and time again. That's why the results are so erratic. It's unable to put things together. Like, I love using Claude for coding, but I tried to get it to write my resume. It was god awful. I had to go back to using ChatGPT, which did a great job at that. Different AIs can do different things, for sure. So the AI that could propel the Defense Department forward the most in terms of its initiatives is the AI company that they're in war with. It is, and no other AI company can do what this company can do in terms of the production of code. It just can't. Hence the name Claude Code. Oh, yeah. Well, we're here in Florida, and I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate some subscribers. The issue that I'm having is that my back really hurts, and I have a lot of ambitions. One of the things that I want to do is I wanted to do a whole entire video on the Book of Enoch and the Nephilim.
Right.
And these are the prodigy of watchers from the heavens and earth women, and the likelihood that this may or may not have happened. And ironically, this is so crazy. There are all these flood stories, and when you go back in history, you see that there really were opportunities for massive floods that changed the global geography, to say the least. So a lot of these things are pretty accurate. And apparently, like, Bigfoot is a real thing, and they got DNA from Bigfoot. And like the DNA that they got, they found out that the mitochondrial DNA is human. That means that all the maternal DNA is human. So the DNA from the mom is human. But they say that the nuclear DNA was intermixed with DNA they don't know where it came from. So that's really interesting. So maybe Bigfoot are the Nephilim, yeah, or descendants of them. Maybe those were the giants that we heard about in the Bible all the time. Isn't that something to think about? It probably isn't the case. By the way, the great scholars decided that the Book of Enoch was not to be included in biblical canon, both in Judaism and in Christianity. So you don't find that. But there are some sects out in Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Orthodoxy, that have made the Book of Enoch part of their whole religion and tradition and so forth. And parts of the Book of Enoch were actually found with the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that tends to suggest that this is a much more ancient text than we originally thought. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyways, I just wanted to tell you, we would really appreciate you subscribing, right, Jude?
We certainly would.
And I'm thinking I'm going to have my beautiful wife on more often because I love her. And it's just so much nicer to do this with her. But we are going to have some really great, if my back can tolerate it, some really great episodes. We would really appreciate the support. We're not really doing this for money at all.
No.
So
making
I'm not
money.
going to worry
We're
about,
not making money on this.
yeah, we're not going to worry about putting out a video once a week like all the other lunatics that need to earn money. My back just hurts too freaking much. So either you watch us or you don't. I hope that you do, but the problem is that there's a lot of AI crap out there. So if you want to continue having AI crap, subscribe to the faceless videos that are all bullshit, and forget listening to real people like me and my wife. Whether you agree with us or not, we're real. So there you go.
Yeah, all right. Have a great day. Thank you.